Well, first of all, we have to understand that recession is just a word. I don't think that anyone actually believes that there's any less money in the coffers of the United States. Where did it go? Did somebody take it and burn it up, or did we throw money away so that now there's less money available within the system? No, we didn't do that. Times are a little tight. I think that the lending institutions, because of some of their practices that weren't healthy, are holding back on the monies that they're loaning to people and placing into economic development, but the money is still there. We look at jobs going away, and people are very uneasy about the possibility of them getting pink slips and their jobs going away. And we're going through a cyclical change, but this country and the world is going through the same change. You must remember that in the 40s and the 50s, or the 30s, 40s, and 50s, World War II time, right after World War II, manufacturing was the biggest contributor to the world economy. Manufacturing is kind of gone away or gone by the wayside, because some years ago our society, our economy changed to a services economy, where services were the primary contributors to the economic GNP here in this country. Insurance, financial services, healthcare services, those types of things. Now what we see that the economy is shifting once again into a information exchange type of economy. It's information that people want. It's information that's bringing wealth to people. So number one, the first thing we got to do is learn how to make these adjustments within the things that we do. It's a lot of people that worked in factories and manufacturing that didn't reskill themselves, and they've been out of jobs for a long time. A lot of the airline stewardesses and those kinds of things that went on furlough 10, 12 years ago, they got called back 3, 4 years ago. Well, they're back on furlough again after they spent 5 years doing some other things and get called back to the airlines because of the condition of the airline industry. We have to learn to stay a step ahead of what's going on. We have to learn to pay attention. We have to learn to retool ourselves, reinvent ourselves over and over and over. And when you're able to do that and move fluently within the economic part of this country, then you'll always do okay. I was looking at Benny Hinn when I was out in California, and Miles Monroe was on Benny Hinn, and he had one of the people, members of his church, come to him and say, "Pastor, I lost my job. Oh, woe is me, what am I gonna do?" So Miles looked at her and said, "You got a house?" And she said, "Yeah." Miles said, "You got an oven?" And the woman answered, "Yes." He then asked, "You got a car?" And the woman answered, "Yes." He said, "Well, you're not broke or anything like that or out of a job. You're just not thinking. Why don't you start to bake some cookies and take the cookies that you bake back down there to the company where you used to work and sell your cookies to the people who still down there working, got a job." So, needless to say, she now owns a company that employs 120 people making cookies. Now, part of the reason I'm telling you this is because of the economic scare, fear factor, recession thing, and that you need to be creative in providing yourself a livelihood. But the second reason, and I think the most important reason for me that I'm telling you this, is, can you imagine loving something that you do? This woman is baking cookies, putting love in the cookies, mixing it up, baking them in the oven, bringing them out, cooling them, packaging them, placing them in the front of her business. People are coming in, buying her cookies. She's seeing the joy that she brings to people and how much they enjoy eating her cookies, resulting of the love that she's put into them. Now, answer me this question. Do you think that woman gonna be having some heart attack, fall out, you know, diabetes, lack of joy, you know, woe is me experience, stressed out in her life? No. She enjoys what she's doing, and she's really, really, really enjoying the satisfaction and the receptivity and the love that she's getting from the people coming in there to buy her cookies. We have to learn to think for ourselves sometimes. You know, here we are in a society, and they're creating robotic spacecraft capable of intergalactic travel, and you know, we still thinking that we're gonna go and get a job in the steel mill like my daddy and them did back in the 30s and back in the 40s, man. Well, those jobs have gone away. You have to take a look at industries like the health industry. You have to take a look at industries like the financial industry. You have to take a look at industries like computer and information providing industries that are the new contributors, excuse me, that are the hot contributors, that are the basic contributors to the economy now. And you have to learn to develop skills. You have to develop some skills in those areas. Not so much to compete, but just to be able to live these days. You know, computers are running everything in our lives, you know, and no, you know, I used to work for IBM, but the stuff that I did back in the 80s, man, is totally outdated, totally, you know, man, if they pulled out any of those machines that I worked on the design projects of, you know, and I set it up in my house and be talking about I got a computer, people would laugh at me, man. What is that thing? You know, my son, the kids, young kids like that, man, they go around with iPods and what is it, iMac phones or whatever they are, Mac phones, whatever they are. And man, they got their whole life in that phone, do email, you know, bring up the thing, push their finger on it, pictures be sliding back and forth, and they call that thing a phone, man. All I use my phone for is to pick it up and make a call. But this is the age that we live in. These are some of the skills that we're going to have to develop if in fact we want to be, number one, competitive in the world, and you know, number two, provide a life for ourselves. But in wrapping up, man, recession, remember, it's just a word. It scares people. It brings so much fear to people that it paralyzes them. It keeps you from thinking. And you know, and I always tell you, man, the innate gifts that are within us that we think nothing of because God gave them to us, and it's us, and we have all those low self-esteem, woe is me insecurities. Well, those are the exact things that God placed within you, man, to be your provision. You know, do what you do well. You know, hone your skills. Be you. Be you, be you. And I guarantee you, everything will be all right. And I guarantee you that you'll be all right. And I guarantee you, no matter how many people talk about recession, only those who buy in to that idea, only those who buy into that concept, only those who believe the things that their eyes are seeing, where the illusion exists and where we can be bamboozled, well, they're the ones who it's going to affect. And everybody else, man, you're going to keep on living, you're going to keep on loving, and you're going to keep on enjoying this wonderful thing called life. Reverend Bobby is out.